Yes, good morning. I'm Dr. Judith Weinroth. I'm here today representing DARA, Doctors Against Racism and Antisemitism. I'd like to dedicate my remarks today to my late father, Rabbi Irwin Shield, who was one of the co-founders of Christian Jewish Dialogue of Toronto. He was a Holocaust survivor. He died this year very upset by what he was seeing on the streets of Toronto, which reminded him of what was going on when he was arrested as a teenager in Germany on Kristallnacht. So keep that in mind when I'm speaking. Now, DARA, Doctors Against Racism and Antisemitism, is an interfaith volunteer grassroots organization of healthcare professionals established 15 years ago to identify and counter racism and antisemitism in the medical, scientific, and academic realms. Since its inception in 2009, DARA has had many successful accomplishments, but unfortunately, especially in the last year, since October 7th, 2023, anti-Semitism in the GTA has been growing, and DARA has had many issues to deal with. Today I will highlight just a few of them, specifically related to academia and to the impact on patient care for Jews and Israelis in Toronto. Students and members of the public have an obligation to follow University of Toronto's Code of Conduct when they are on campus. U of T administrators have an obligation to enforce their code to ensure that a civil environment for learning exists. Because U of T administration permitted violations of their own code, Jewish students, staff, and faculty unavoidably felt threatened when pro-Palestinian encampments were in place on the campus. Over 100 Jewish doctors who are graduates or faculty of the Tamarti Faculty of Medicine, TFOM, at U of T, supported by DARA, officially disaffiliated from the U of T to express their concerns about the university's failure to enforce the code and failure to deal with the encampment promptly. Jewish, Israeli, and Zionist students at the TFOM have been especially impacted. Learners have reported to us that they need to hide their Jewishness and Zionism to get accepted to the medical school and to succeed in their undergraduate and graduate studies. Although there is no accurate data about the number of Jewish students applying to TFOM, we hear of Jewish students hiding their religious identity on applications, even fearing that their Jewish-sounding names may impact their chance of acceptance. Jewish students feel unsafe sharing their identity with the school once admitted and underreport their Jewish heritage in surveys. Statistics from the Jewish Medical Students Association at U of T indicate that there are only 52 Jewish members in total representing all 4 years of medical school. That includes only 11 first-year Jewish students out of a class of 290. What has happened to all the Jewish students?
Calling the backbenchers.
DEI policies and overt hate at medical schools have negative consequences on Jewish students and staff. I want you to listen carefully to this. A recent report submitted by Dr. Lisa Salomon on behalf of the Canadian Federation of Jewish Medical Association concludes, in summary, medical schools are so unsafe for Jewish faculty members and learners that it is hard to imagine recommending that any Jewish learner apply to a Canadian medical school. We at DARA have noted that the proposed admission criteria, which have been changed, for the new Toronto Metropolitan University Medical School would have made it nearly impossible for Jewish students to be accepted.
You gotta go. Yeah.
The 2024 Tamarti Faculty of Medicine graduation ceremony was very disturbing, and I know how many of you actually saw it. Despite having been advised about proper protocol, several students were allowed to graduate, this is from medical school, while wearing keffiyehs and carrying Palestinian flags, while the faculty on stage clapped. Can you imagine how Jewish graduates and their families felt during that ceremony that was supposed to be congratulating them on their achievements? How comfortable would you feel being treated as a patient by one of these new graduates who express hate and do not follow protocol? Can Jewish patients trust that these new physicians will apply appropriate treatments in their practices to their Jewish patients. Some Jewish faculty members at U of T have expressed concern about their ability to even teach these learners in their postgraduate training. DARA has had productive meetings and will continue to meet with the Dean of the Medical School and other administrators at the Faculty of Medicine to address our concerns. We at DARA have also been made aware of doctors in the GTA who have posted anti-Semitic or anti-Zionist diatribes on social media. At what point does free speech merge into hate speech? Will Jewish, Zionist, and Israeli patients be safe in their care? Personally, I would not feel safe. Most recently, the chair and vice chair of the Governing Council of the University of Toronto refused to accept a motion by one of its members proposing that the council condemn acts of anti-Semitism on campus and advise the administration to implement strategies to effectively protect students, faculty, and staff from this discrimination. In response to this refusal, which quashed the opportunity to consider the motion, DARA issued a statement criticizing the council and U of T for failing to protect Jewish learners, faculty, and staff, excluding Jews from the safeguards extended to all other ethnic groups at the university, while anti-Semitism on campus skyrockets. DARA has called on the Ontario government to appoint a supervisor in place of the U of T Governing Council until a properly functioning council is constituted. Pro-Palestinian demonstrations are taking place regularly on the streets of Toronto and becoming more violent. At one demonstration, Mount Sinai Hospital was specifically targeted. Is it not time for Toronto to take better control of these hateful rallies and introduce bylaws prohibiting such demonstrations within 100 meters of vulnerable infrastructure, as was recently done by the Mayor of Long? I'd like to thank you for asking DARA to participate in this Toronto Interfaith Summit on Antisemitism and Hate. This forum presents a significant opportunity for interaction and support moving forward from the various faith and community leaders who are participating here today. Thank you.